everybody, so today we're going to do a pretty cheap mod. It should cost us less than 15 bucks if you buy good paint. We're going to take off the headlights of the FRS, we're going to bake them, pull the housing apart, and we're going to paint the housing black. Now I've got a metallic black paint that's for engines, so it should be good for any kind of heat that the headlights might be able to generate, even if you have, say, HIDs or something. But it should be a pretty quick and easy mod. All we gotta do is pull the bumper off. That's gonna be the hardest part of all of this, but it will take a little bit of time for baking the headlights and etc. So let's go jump into it. Okay, as you can see, we've already got the bumper off. If you don't know how to do that, I have a how-to on how to do that. I will put it in the link below. And basically, after you get the bumper off, the headlight's pretty simple. You have to remove this bracket that goes around here first. And it's just a bolt up here. There's one right in here. There's two off to the side here. And of course you've got your blinkers and stuff that are fastened onto that. So this doesn't actually leave the car unless you feel so inclined. I'm going to leave mine on. I'll just drop it down. So you're going to take these two bolts out here. This one over here. The one on top. And then that will pull off. And then you're going to remove this bolt here and this push pin here and pop these up, and the headlight will actually just come right out. It's actually pretty simple. Okay, I've removed all the bolts. I'm going to try to do this one-handed, so bear with me here. Be careful not to break anything. And we're going to set that down, try not to scratch anything. And then if I can do this without that, well, should be able to. There we go. And we might have to actually get the lights unhooked from the back on this. There's not as much slack on the driver's side as there was on the passenger side, so you want to make sure not to touch the bulbs on these halogen lights if you've never dealt with them before, because the oil from your hand will actually make the bulb burn out. I can get that out. There we go. Okay, there's another plug on this side that there's not on the other. There we go. And that's all there is to that. And there's the hole left behind. So let's take these inside and start to disassemble them. Okay, I've got the oven preheating to 225, but there's 6 screws all the way around the headlight. You got to remove those, and I remove these little plastic grommets, and you got to remove these, and this one twists. You remove these 3 screws and this pulls out, and you are left with this, and this one will actually just pull right off. So you want to remove all this stuff because it doesn't need to be in the oven. Whether it'll melt or not, you don't want to sacrifice the good rubber just in case. So we'll remove these 3 screws here, the 6 around it, and pull this out and stick these in the oven for about 5 minutes apiece. Okay, so after you have put these in the oven, and it ended up being about 10 minutes, and I'd pull them out and check the heat and make sure nothing was melting, you've got to pull them apart. And I started up at the narrow end up here, and I put a big straight slot screwdriver in it and slowly pry it apart till I get my fingers in, which are now broken, and just carefully and slowly pull the headlight apart. If it needs to go back in the oven for another few minutes, that's fine. That's what I had to do. So this is the part that we're actually getting out that we are going to paint, and some people paint the reflector here as well, but I'm not going to because I daily my car sometimes and I don't want to lose my high beam functionality, which if you paint that, you will. So we're going to remove the chrome piece now, and it's just 3 Phillips screws. There's one here, here, and here. We're going to take that out. We're going to move the lens out of the way, and what I actually have is just normal primer. I'm going to put a good coat of primer on it, and then I've got high temp metallic black paint I'm going to paint it on. And I'm not going to show you guys me painting this, because if you can take the headlight off, you probably know how to spray paint. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this and let it dry, and I will bring you back when we start to reassemble. Okay, we've got it put back together mostly. The lens does need cleaned, but it's put back together. But as you can see, now that it's cooled off, there's a gap around here. So I'm going to put it back in the oven for a couple of minutes, let the silicone get nice and, I guess, I don't know how you want to, soft, I guess is the good word for it, and tighten these screws down and pull the housing together a little bit more, because we don't want leaks and condensation getting in the headlight housing. So I'm going to put it back in the oven and close this gap. There we go, and as you can see, the gap has gone down to almost nothing, and that's what we want. So now that we've got that put back on, I've put all of the grommets back on for the light bulbs, and let's go put it back on the car. And there we go. The headlight just goes on in reverse order. Put the headlight on, it just clips in. You'll get this top fender clip to hold it, and then it's bolt here and here. Then you've got the bolt right there, the 2 here on the side, and then the bumper goes back on. And that's pretty much it. I think it looks a lot better. It'll look better in natural light instead of just a reflective light that I've got in here. But it looks a lot more modern with the black housing. And I think that this will be a good thing to have done on the car until I save up the money and actually buy regular factory headlights for it that don't have all the chrome in them. But a tune is first and a clutch is before that. So good luck. Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Please like, comment, and subscribe right here for more Rage Fuel content. We'll see you next time.